Welcome back to the Navigating Podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Gideon, and with me again today are the brothers Leki and Pink. Last time we spoke about what it feels like to not belong in church. Today we're digging deeper into the idea of safety in church. Because let's be honest, not everyone feels safe enough to be real as they step into church. And so let's start off by let me asking you the question. Have you ever been in a setting where you've stepped into church and you felt like it's not a safe place to be vulnerable? In other words, you've got something on your chest, you've carried a little burden through in your week, and you wanted to share that, but you felt like the environment wasn't safe enough. You might be hit with some gossip afterwards or some judgment. Maybe I'll start off with you, Pink. Have you ever been in a setting like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up. Like you said, it goes back to what you mentioned. You're going in there thinking you got problems and you want the church. You're going into church thinking there's going to be answers there, but you're hit with gossip and judgment. And now, in that perspective, you feel like you're not in the church anymore. And, that's just being honest.
Yeah.
But then myself, I always had that issue with the church. I always went in there, I was like, I'm against you guys because you can't help. There's no safety net. That's the honest truth. Like you're walking in and you want this sense of belonging, but you walk into a toxic environment. And I mean, how does anyone in the church, those who have the roles in the church, how do they help? I asked myself those back then, like whoever had the roles, let's be honest, some of them abused it, abused the roles. Like, you'd be like, look, this is what's going on. Can you guys help me out? And they'd be like, oh, what are you talking about feelings here?
Yeah.
It catches you short. I mean, what do you just gobsmack. And for those who are, those who are listening, I'll be honest, like congregation has never been a safe place. Never has. For someone like myself and someone who's experiencing that, there was always the feeling. Like when you mention church, we are in church right now, individually, yeah? But when you go to church, like you always think, oh, there's support there for you. There's a safety net.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk to someone, there's confidentiality. There's no confidentiality.
That's right.
It's turned into a circus.
Yeah.
Like by the following week, you'd be sitting down and someone said, oh, we heard what's going on. And you'd be like, are you for real? I came here, pouring my heart out to someone. And then you're looking at that person during the sermon, you'd be like, oh man, you can only wish the worst for that person.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, I came in here thinking, can you please help me? And then I guess that's when I wouldn't say I went off the rails. I just targeted certain people in the church. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it back to you.
Yo.
Like the most, I'll be honest, people say, oh, happy Sabbath. I'll be like, no, brother, I'm not wishing that upon you right now.
Yeah.
But that's the honest truth. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Now, being unsafe in church, like being vulnerable, absolutely. Everyone's vulnerable, but I guess that's just how we've been taught to be. If someone's going to give you an opinion, that's it. Like, how about listen? Just active listen to, use the active listening. But we've brought that up to this generation now, because our parents, their grandparents, their parents, and their parents before. For me, that's like trauma, generational trauma, handed down. Like the irony behind it is when I tell my mum, this is what's going on, and she goes, oh, forget about it. And I said, hit me up with that 30 years ago. There's no forget about it. Ask someone else in the church. Ask the pastor or, who was head deacon or whatever roles they had. You ask them, they'd be like, bro, you need to grow up. They'd be straight up, pull your finger out. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. I guess I can relate to a lot of people who are listening to it right now. They're sitting there going, bro, I don't want to be, I'm not always right. But hey, I can connect with that person. And yeah, that's well, for me, silence is probably the best treatment going into church. but that's not the best advice I can give you. Because if you go in there to have that relationship one-on-one, hey, that's between you and him. You keep that pure because you're not here for anyone else. You're only here between you and him. But then it always come back to church hypocrisy. I mean, that's just red flags everywhere. You walk into a church first thing, but then don't put yourself in that mindset. Like I said, I'm slowly finding my legs coming back into the church.
Yeah.
That's
So, yeah. So, when you've tried to communicate some of the feelings, because there's different levels of communication. We can talk about footy, about rugby league, the Broncos, the All Blacks, and the awesome win and fathers and all that sort of thing. But in order to go a little bit deeper, you need to actually start sharing some of your concerns and some of your feelings. And there are some times when I guess what I'm hearing from you is that feelings when people are sharing are almost like, okay, we don't probably want to deal with those sorts of things right now. Just let it go. That's sort of in another sector.
Yeah,
100.
So how about you, Leki? Would you like to just share with us when you've felt unsafe about being vulnerable?
Yeah, sure. So there's an instance when I was younger, right? Because we're talking about past experience here that leads to where we are at the moment, yeah?
Yeah.
So when I was younger, because my father was a my father was a leader of the church, there was this expectation of me to perform, right? But there was one instance, for instance, where the youth had 3 weeks to prepare for a program. And then the night before we were supposed to do the program, we had practice on a Friday night. The leaders at the time were like, okay, well, what do you reckon we should do? So for 5 minutes, we were sitting there trying to work out what we need to do. Anyway, I ended up putting up my hand, came up with a starting song, came out with a program finishing song. But throughout the time that we were doing this, I could hear murmurs, Man, this program's going to suck. Man, we shouldn't even be singing this song. We sound so off. I don't think this is going to be a good program. So it's while I'm trying to do this, there's already that judgment going on. But then the next day, do the program, smash it. But then, there was always that, if only you were like the leaders, that was such an awesome program. That was such a really good song. If you were like the leaders, you would be so far in your life right now, not knowing, you know what I mean? So it's not just the church is unsafe for you to be vulnerable. At this time, it was like that ages ago. And it's created this environment where people like myself going back to church, there's no space for me to sort of sit there and show who I really am, So it's not just me, my generation, our age group. It's also those who are in church right now, who are youth, who don't have this, not only room to sort of be able to share who they are, but to grow and to become leaders, because there's also the pressure of those who are around him. And it sort of led me to believe that it's better for me to be a Queenslander, because if I spill my beer there's people around, they'll be like, hey, you all good? I'll hook you up with another beer. But I go to church, 100. I don't wear a tie. It's how come you're not wearing a tie? You know what I mean? So when I'm rocking up just as I am, there's already the
expectation.
Yeah, you're not following the rules. You don't look right. You shouldn't be here. So just because there's there's that, which makes me feel as though I can't even talk about my life and the struggles and the things that I'm going through. So so there's that, to answer your question,
Yeah. So, just to try and paraphrase what I'm hearing you've rocked up to church sometimes and it feels like what you have, your best in terms of you being there, is still not going to be good enough
Yeah.
for someone.
That's right. That's right. 100%. And
It's
like
been
even
like that.
yeah, and like even
You know?
now, like I rock up to church with a shirt and a pair of jeans, because that's how I feel comfortable. I'm comfortable like that. But like I still get the eyes, like, how dare you? You're coughing, son. You should be dressing up
Yeah.
better than that. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not my dad. I'm his son.
Yeah.
So So the judgment and being misunderstood is like with my appearance. It's like, oh no, he's coming here like this, he's being disrespectful. But it's like, no, I'm coming like this because I feel safe coming like this. So yeah.
So, this is the thing, because while we're talking, I'm thinking and hearing that it almost has to be like you have to put on a good performance.
Yeah.
You have to have a good exterior or a good facade in order for you to be, number one, find belonging. We spoke about that last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
And number two, in order for them to even want to hear you, there needs to be some sort of level of performance. So I know that this probably isn't really in our script, but talk to me about that, because I think this is a big thing in terms of when we think about church, and we've come through.
Yeah.
We don't want to say the system, but we've come through church. We've been blessed with parents that love the Lord and that they've brought us through. But at the same time, it can really be about just putting on a performance. Like we go to church on Sabbath, we got to put on our best. We got to put on a performance. And so, do you feel that sometimes it can be embedded into us that church or being at church is like a performance?
Absolutely. 100.
Yep.
My analogy of church back in the days was it's a courtroom. You're going in there and they're judging you.
It's the best way to explain it.
I mean, either judging you culturally. I mean, like as Samoans, you got to uphold, mannerism, take you a long way. Even that doesn't, tick the box. Like Leki said, you wear a shirt, jeans. You're not just frowned upon. Man, that's just going to be, the talk of the day. People are not there to get blessings now. They're going to go, look, it's his kofingul son. He's wearing that. He should know better. I mean, like you want to go to church, it's like as a hospital or a refuge where you can express yourself. You always think it's a safe place. Bro, you walk in, bro, and before I even walk in my head, I'm like, brother, this is set up like a courtroom. I'm just waiting for this. I'm just waiting for the preacher to come out, and he's got that wig on, and he goes, "Today we're gonna next case is Daniel, and let me be honest with you, just the way they like to persecute you with their eyes. Like there's expectations of everyone. Really, even if you hold a role in church, you got to ask yourself those roles. I relate to it back to a workplace. These different levels, different roles. They act the way they have to be. Yeah, similar to church, but in the setting of the church, these guys go Hail Hitler on you. You go into church thinking, hey, obviously I didn't pass your standards. Is there anything you'd like to say? Take me to a corner, even have a quiet word with me. But it's not. You're like a sacrificial lamb. They give it to you. Yep. And what's worse is when that word gets back to your family, what do you do then? I know what I'll do. I spoke about it last time. I'll be like, I'll turn to these people. I go, pull your finger out, have a taste. Straight up. And that's my analogy of church growing up. It was a courtroom. Yeah. You got to walk in there. You go, hey, bro, your shoelaces are wrong color shoes. You go, bro, why are you wearing those pants with that shirt? He goes, bro, you're missing a button. Just the little 1% things. They'll pick on you, and you'd be like, really? This is not a church. This is not a congregation. This is a social club. Whether you got to kiss a lot of, to hit the pecking order or even get that respect.
A social club with a lot of standards.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I mean, in a hospital, patients will treat patients, right? Yeah. You'd think that in the church people will treat church people right. Nah, that's the honest truth. You know, like that's why people, I think, that are listening, they're just going, yo, that's why I don't want to go back. Because it is a courtroom. You're walking in, you see the prosecutor, and you think you've got someone to defend you. You think the sole person in the church will defend you. And they go, oh, no, give it to legal aid. You go, ask yourself, who's legal aid? And you go, it's the person who despised you from the get-go before you even walked into church. I mean, it's not a cycle, but people like to create these situations so, hey, we're going to make you feel little until you understand where you're meant to be in the pecking order or in the expectations we want. And then once you come through, then we go, okay, you be welcome in. But by that time, you'd be like, no, brother, I'm kicking the door on the way out. You know, I'll be doing skid marks in the car park. And you're lucky if it's a dirt car park. Oh, I'll dust it up. I'm only expressing the way how a lot of people feel right now.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you just want the people who you feel like they can give you good advice and tell you, hey, maybe just go, hey, it's good to see you. Like tell Leki, go, hey, brother, it's good to see you today. Just go, hey, you come as who you are. That's what you want to hear. You know, but then you got to ask yourself sometimes, just listen. Like it goes back to active listening. You know, just listening to people, that's the main thing. Trying to fix them, maybe you might say something out of context that'll take that person to another level. You know, and that's my share on that.
Yeah.
Like I can't be more open about it.
Yeah. So Leki, I'm just going to throw it back over to you as well. You know, like we mentioned just about how church should be a hospital. You know, it really should be a place where we're nurturing people that come from whatever situation, whatever background, whatever stuff that they're carrying or things that they've experienced, you know, because everyone out there is hurt, aren't they?
Yeah.
We're all broken in some way. And when you go to a church setting, it should be about helping other broken people. You know, talk to me about what you feel about the courtroom and whether that's been a real thing for you as well.
Like in regards to the church?
Yeah.
Like,
or whether you feel that there's a better place for you to be in terms of a hospital. You know, would you like to see a better hospital environment where it's a refuge, where it's a safe place?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about being vulnerable.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things about church being a safe place is that there's a cultural background. It plays a massive part because our culture, like it's a hierarchy, right? So if mum and dad turn and tell me, like for instance, if mum tells me, Leki, do this. So then if I'm doing it and dad turns around and goes, nah, Leki, do that. You know, there's a hierarchy. Who am I listening to? I got to listen to dad because dad's the head, right? But then if the matai of the family turns and says to my dad, why is he doing that? He should be doing those things, right? So then my dad will be like, listen to the makai and do what the makai says. You know what I mean? So there's that hierarchy of, is it influence? Or
Yep.
Take that into a church setting.
Conflict.
It is. Because like if, for instance, the youth leader has an idea on a program, who does the youth leader have to go to? The youth leader has to go to the whawhaukua, which is, in English, it's the advisor. They have to go to the advisor, and the advisor is always an adult. If the advisor then turns around and says, no, that's not a good program, let's do this. So then the youth leader is like, okay, because, you know, there's a hierarchy, right? Because we grew up with this hierarchy at home, we apply it to church, and then that's how we roll. But then if the whawhaukua talks to like, you know, an elder or, you know, the next one above, there's always the, mate, pastor said that this is how we should do it. And then the advisor's like, okay, yeah, no, that's all good. And then the advisor will turn around to the youth leader or to the, you know, no, we shouldn't be doing it this way. We should be doing it that way. So there's no room actual room to sort of, grow. And then not only that, going back to what Pink was saying, if the youth leader is trying to share something, the whawhakua is like, hey, guess what they wanted to do, And then it sort of like spreads in the church, and then all of a sudden your auntie turns to you and go, why were you even thinking about doing this in the first place? Or your uncle will be like,
100.
what's going on? Are you stupid? So it's like, for when I was young, I hated it. So in regards to church being a hospital where broken people can come in and be comfortable being broken, it's not really. Like, it's sort of like, oh, you're broken. No, we don't want you here. We only want perfect people. We only want people who wear pants. We only want people who wear ties. We want someone that stands with a suit in the front. But I'm broken, man. I rock up how I rock up because this is how I feel comfortable. But there's no space there. Yeah, there's no space there. The only space that I've found recently that helps me is the 35 plus class at Leki City Samoa Seventh-day Adventist Church.
My brother.
So when we rock up, like, there's, we can all sit there in our brokenness. We can be vulnerable enough to admit that we don't know answers for certain things, and that opens it up for those who do know to share. Because, like, you think about it, there's people that know what they're talking about but are afraid to share it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like, in this space, it's mad. The space in the 35 plus class at Leki City Samoa has given me reason to, get up out of bed on a Saturday, on Sabbath, and head into church and just jam, because those who are in that class actually accept me for who I am. So it's mad. Like, if only it could grow from there. And yesterday, when we went church, there was a space where we were able to grow. Because not only were we doing lesson finished, everyone else went inside. But, me and the boys went and put our chairs under a tree in the shade, and we just continued jamming about the lesson. It was awesome. It was mad.
Yeah.
So that's what we need, not the former.
And can I just add on to the culture?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very important point he made about the hierarchy, the makais in the family and all that. I'm not having a crack at Samoan culture, but when you come to church, culture stays at the door. Julius Caesar's state, Jesus Christ is church. Don't intertwine or even mix the two, because that's where most of the problems stem from. Because I was told when you got baptized, you getting baptized as fiku, Seventh-day Adventist. That's your identity.
Yeah.
What I see right now is a lot of cultural practices creeping in, whether he's an elder or what. But then if he's a matai, he can outdo someone else. I'm like, man, are you for real? Pull your socks up.
Yeah.
This is a church. This is not a cultural setting. Yeah, we got to bring a little bit of culture in to, iron out everything in the church, but you don't fully try to control everything with the culture. That's a big issue with me. It triggers me. It triggers me hard. Like when they start talking Samoan, like the Matai stuff in front, I'm like, man, this is a circus. And if anyone's listening, I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Those practices should be kept outside the door. Like I'll go back to when my father passed away. I told my family, no Makai stuff. My dad was a Seventh-day Adventist. But as Samoans, you just get overpowered by everyone else to go, no, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, hey, if you want to do the Makai stuff, do it outside church grounds. Do it somewhere else. Do it at another hall. What happened? We continued on. We continued on in the church ground. That's what I personally, I don't stand for. And because it's not right.
No.
In, any other setting, you brought it up. He mentioned it, like mum, dad, who do you listen to? But then if someone in the church say something, you'd be, okay, I'll listen to that. But and then the Makai comes in, you'd be like, yo. Where's the common ground there? Where are you meant to stand on? That's why I think culture, sometimes it's overpowering. It's good. I love our culture, but leave it at the door. You know, like, yeah, we've got to sing our songs in Samoan. Fair enough. Keep it at that. But don't creep it in. Like, don't mix it.
And this is the challenge, because, you know, you're mentioning some things, like even with culture, you know, you got culture, you got a few hierarchy, and some of these things are amazing things. You know, we respect and love our culture.
Yeah.
But the challenge is that once you come into a church setting, there's always this battle between, well, is the culture going to be here and Christ is going to be here? Or is Christ going to be here and culture is going to be here?
Yeah.
And then we got church as well, like the church and the expectations and the way things should be run. You know, sometimes it can be a very formalistic environment where things need to be done X, Y, Z. Tick this box. You got to wear this and you got to do this. And where does that sit in the grand scheme of things? Because when you're thinking about it, Christ needs to be up here.
Oh, definitely.
And when the balance and the order actually translate into the right order, things run so much smoother.
Absolutely.
You know, when the culture is not above Christ, when the church and the policies and the different expectations are not above Christ, but Christ is up here, it makes a huge difference in terms of people's attitudes, how they relate to people, whether or not you feel like it's a safe environment or not. You know, because, you know, we're talking today about being vulnerable, and it's very difficult to be vulnerable when you feel like there's all these different hoops that you have to jump through first. You know, in order for you to just have a safe place, you know, and the reality is a lot of people are carrying things. You know, I carry things into a church sometimes. I don't necessarily let people know about it, but a lot of others that do come into that space, how can we help them to feel as if they can be safe, as if they can just open up and share
100%.
without that?
Yeah.
You know, because the Bible does talk about being a brother who carries another one's burdens. You know, that's why we're here as a church, aren't we? We're here as believers.
Absolutely.
Is to try and help others carry their burdens. So let's look at some of the things that you feel could be a solution. You've spoken about some safe places. You are in a safe place in your environment. Do you want to speak about that, or can you make any other suggestions on what you feel could actually help different places, different settings, different churches to be a safer place for anyone that walks in? You know, a safe place for someone that might smell like cigarettes, or might smell like the
like I do. There's someone that smells like I do.
We're not judging anyone here.
No. I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. You know, because like, you know, that's me. I feel comfortable. You know, because I'm in a stage where I'm trying to transition from, you know, drinking and smoking cigarettes all the time to eating healthy and studying the Word. You know, I'm transitioning from that, and the space, the 35 plus class is a awesome sort of like it's like a safe haven. Does that make sense? For me, like I can be me. And I feel the acceptance, you know, from the class. And like there's boys that are there, like, you know, Alele, Brad, Danny, you know, Pink, you know, the class is run by Galinda. And, you know, there's like, these guys are like our generation, and they get it. They get it because they can see, you know, what my personality is, and they understand that I've also got stuff that are going on behind the scenes, and this has been my way of coping or keeping my head above water, and it's something that has been a part of my life for such a long time that they understand that it takes time, but they can see that, man, Leki's on a journey. You know, he's at least rocking up here, and some of the boys that are there. You know, I jam with Alili, and you know, I cruise over, and I'm doing my thing, but like even he can see that there's a shift in my character, and the things that I'm doing, but he knows that it takes time, right? And because he's such a safe space for me, I feel that I can be vulnerable with him, and because of that, like, well, one of the things is he doesn't sit there and like, Leki, you shouldn't be doing this. Leki, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, he's not hounding me. But what he's doing is he's like, man, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
What you're doing is awesome. Like, just keep chucking along and keep relying on God, keep praying. And, you know, eventually you'll get there. But whenever you need someone to talk to, hit me up. You know, and these are the boys, man. Like, Pink's the same. You know, whenever I feel down, I just swing him a text. You know? And then when he responds, like, all he has to do is just like it. And for me, I'm like, yeah, my man's got me, you know. And I do the same with Tuti. You know, I just swing him a text. And then my boy Sam, swing him a text. My brother, swing him a text. These are safe spaces for me. Do I find that in the church without this 35 plus cast? No, I don't. So in regards to like a solution, it's more just people being genuine. You know, that's where it starts, and just understanding that people are people, and that, like, I don't know about you, but I'm a sinner by trade. Man, I'm pretty good at it.
Preach it, brother.
Yo,
Ain't no one safe. I'm a professional sinner.
I'm the chief of sinners.
yeah. So, like, I mean, you know, that's me. That's my nature. That's because, like, yeah. So, being genuine in your care for others is a great starting point. Because, like, I only go to church for one reason, and that's the class, and to just jam with those that accept me for who I am. As in regards to the whole thing, I think it just starts with people just being genuinely honest with themselves and telling themselves that you're a sinner too. Don't walk around thinking that you don't stink, because you do. You know, that's like me too. I know I stink. I know I stink. I know I smell. But I'm not going to walk around and judge, you know, different types of smells and, oh, man, you should eat this in order for you to smell a little bit better. We all stink. So just know, if you're watching, you stink, man. And just be honest with that.
Levels
you know?
straight up.
Yeah. And just know that other people stink too. Yeah.
How important, thanks for sharing that. How important, though, is it? It's because we know that person in our life that just has an answer for everything and wants to fix us straight away. You know, we talk to them about something and then straight away, boom, we're hit with a solution. You got to do X, Y, Z. How important is it to have someone in your corner, you know, when you're going through stuff, or even at your safe place at church, that is going to just be listening? Someone that's just going to lend 2 ears to you and not try to give you a little Band-Aid. Here, this will sort you out, you know. Have you had someone like that? Do you see the importance of that in a church that has safe places?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'll go back to what Leki said. Our class. They're there. It's active listening. You know, they give each other advice. Homie, you're good. You know,
My man.
straight up.
Likewise.
It's a space where you'll be amazed in this space. Like yesterday, my mother asked me, "Where were you during sermon?" And I told her I was outside with the boys. We were hashing out the lesson even more. We were going deeper. And she said to me, she goes, "Oh, really? You didn't want to come inside and listen to the sermon?" And I said to her, "To be honest with you, Mum, every time I sit inside and, you know, after all the formalities are done, I'm doing this. Half the church is doing this.
Yo.
You know, let's be honest. Like, you want to, if you want, like, it goes back to the question you said before. What can we do to change? Hey, everyone come as a free spirit. Learn to be a free spirit rather than being going in and saying, oh, yeah, what's the gospel today? You know, you could always change the setting. Change the setting in the church. You know, why don't you get the sermon out the way first thing in the morning, and then everyone can just break off in their classes? Because that way, half the church, you know, you're going to ask people, what was the sermon all about? They'll be like, you know, sorry. You know, they've been blessed by being in the class, but then come to the sermon, they're like, you look around and I'm like, for me, That's what I'm doing during sermon.
Yeah.
Like, sermon doesn't do nothing to me. The class does more. Like, as soon as the sermon kicks off, as soon as everyone sits down, preacher gets up, I'm looking around, I'm scoping the whole church, and you can see people doing this, doing the pirate, sleeping one eye open. I'm like, that's why, we got to change the setting. Maybe change it, give it an outdoor setting, so you're one with nature. Maybe the people ain't going to sleep. Like, let's be honest. Even like I said, go back to time management. Have the sermon in the beginning of the church. When everyone's in there, they go, yo, hit the sermon. And then after that, everyone break off to their classes. Make sure the classes in church are longer, because I'm sick and tired of sitting down. It's like you sit down and they go, hi, then you go, hi, and then they, ding, ding, ding. And you go, oh, sir, the lesson's done.
Yeah.
I don't think they take it into account that some of us, we're really coming back because there's this mutual feeling we have amongst our class, and it's like they're still challenging us. They go ding, 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 ding. I'm going, keep going, ding, 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 because we're still going.
Yeah.
We're going to keep on going.
Hard.
I think yesterday they would have seen that, because we just grabbed our own chairs and found a spot near the tree, and we just hashed this issue out real good. We just pushed it, and just the way we were sharing with each other, I can trust these guys. That's my safe space.
Same.
Because half the people that are walking up, they'll say, oh, hey, it's good to see you today. You can just tell in their tone, they're like, what were you doing sitting outside? That's, for me, I think that's what church has to look at. Maybe change it up a bit. And then it comes back, confidentiality. We need something like a service for those who are coming back. They really need to come, those being real vulnerable. Like, is there a hotline? There's no hotline.
No.
You still can't get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, here we are saying it, but people who are listening, they're going, yeah, is there a number we can call? Someone can pick up and go, well, hello, this is your counselor. Everything you say to me is going to be confidential. Amen. We need that. It's that time and age. But it comes back to, it's going to clash with culture.
Yeah.
People are going to say, don't share your feelings with me. I'll give you something to feel about.
Yeah.
It's like the brother mentioned earlier.
Yo.
You got the church hypocrisy, and then you got the cultural hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
But then if they could just nut it out, put that in for everyone. That's listening. Because that's what we really need. And then for me, active listening. This class right here, we listen. Active listening is one of the, we all know it's a good skill. It's one of the main skills we need in life. If you don't hear someone, what they're really trying to say, read between the lines, then obviously you weren't listening in the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't give advice if you don't want to fix. That's an everyday thing, But that's in the church setting. That's what they're good at.
Yeah. Because, just to add on what you're saying, people listen with the intent to say something rather than listening with the intent to understand.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the issues.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always say it's a court. It's a courtroom. But you mentioned solutions. Man, this is the solution. I mean, our class, I can't stress it enough. I can't stress it. Like, we drop the bad words, we drop it, but that's the best way for us to relate to what's going on in the lesson.
And it's real life experiences.
And it's raw.
Too, so.
We're raw. We're not being fake. We've had people, members of the church are sitting down, they're like, oh, wow, are you really saying this? And we're like, get with the program. It's the generation we're in right now. I mean, what's it going to be like in the future? Are we doing the sign language? I mean, I can almost see the church going that way. If you don't want to share your feelings, and you're coming in, you go, oh, hey, I'm here, and they're like, oh, you're one of those guys. But if you do a sign language or code, someone else will go, yeah, bro, I understand what you're going through. I don't want that to get to that point.
Yeah.
But if we got to talk in codes, hell yeah, by all means. But that's what I think. That's what the church needs to do. Hang on. Let me rephrase that. I think that's what some of the people who have roles in the church, what they should think about bringing into the church, because there's a lot of vulnerable people who want to come back.
Hard.
And if they listen to that, if they just listen to the word vulnerable, okay, let's just target that and bring in things that we can go, okay, we can cater to this. We'll listen to these people. If we don't have advice, we go, hey, heard you. I totally understand.
Hard.
But keep coming.
Yeah.
You know, keep coming. Because if this is a hospital, I'll try to be the best. I'll try to be the best doctor to try to help that person. But if I don't have that advice, I'll go, brother, I heard you. Sister, I heard you. You know, and, you know, I've been there, done that. I don't have the answer. Like, being honest, you don't have the answer, and just go, just keep coming.
Yeah.
And our class, I'll just top it off with what the brother said. This class is really, that's my fix. I can't stress it enough. When I go to church, I don't go to church for church. I go to church for my class. That's my church.
Yo.
But it's like they cut down the time all the time. So we've decided to push back a little bit in a respectful way. We're grabbing our own chairs while they're carrying on with their sermon. We're catching fresh air outside, and we're just hashing out the lesson even more. You know, it's, for me, I'll walk away from that, and that's a blessing because I share that with people I'm safe with. This is one safety net that we have. I think we've not only created for ourselves, we just in that same mind frame, and we just share the same thing. We're like, yo, this is what we should be doing. You know, we can't share that with the people yet.
Yeah.
Because other patients, we don't know what they got. Like, metaphorically, you know, some people might just have cancer, some people might have heart problems, some people, that's how I see it, you know? And we don't have the cure for that. We know, but we got a cure for us, or we're working towards a cure. And it's absolutely working. Because every time we talk, you walk away and you go, yo, how did you feel? I feel pumped. You know, you just get in the car and go, yeah, you're singing All Happy Day all the way home. I don't sing All Happy Day all the way home. But ever since doing this class, man, I'm trying to sing like, I'm trying to take the lead. Even though it doesn't sound right. I'm traumatizing everyone else, ears in the cars, but I'm like, yo, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because I feel it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you know you feel it, hey, man, you're going to preach it. I'm not going to preach it. I'm going to say it, you know. Just for everyone else who's listening or who's very vulnerable, if you want to check it out, come and check out our over 35s class. Because don't get me wrong, you don't have to pull your finger out and have a taste or pull your socks up. You come here and you just feel it. Your ears are just going to go, wow. Your ears are going to be aroused by what we say to each other and how we interpret the lesson. And that's my share on that.
And it sounds like when you have your discussions in your group that you're able to express yourself. So when you're saying about being a safe place where you feel vulnerable, you know, it sounds like you're able to actually just express and share, hey, this is what I've been through. Hey, this is some of the challenges that that's kept me up at night. Hey, this has caused me to hit the bottle and deal with it in this way, you know. And I feel, you know, I think there's a lot of times when people will think about, hey, well, we don't have like a qualified pastor or a qualified counselor or someone like that. But the fact that you've just mentioned something about sharing, and even if there isn't necessarily a professional solution that's given, that environment of you just being able to share, that is so therapeutical. That is such a healing place because someone is actually sharing from their heart to someone, and you have a group that's going to support you and is going to pray for you and is going to help you, you know. So thinking that you need to have an answer in order to be a person that can hear, that's not true at all. So a safe place is really having somebody where you can actually share and the person listens, and they won't give you a Band-Aid or a fix-it solution or this is what Dr. Phil says you need to do. You know, it's about, hey, you know, I hear what you're saying. Thank you. I'm going to keep praying for you. And this is the place for you to keep on coming and sharing that. And just hearing what you're saying, because at the go, on the go, as we're talking, you know, you're in a navigation. You're navigating through the challenges. You're navigating back to God. And, you know, I believe in the church. I believe that the church was given by God to be the agency where people come and they find Christ. And what if, this is the question that I have to ask, you know, what if the church was like Christ? Because Christ was a person. Christ was a person who listened. Christ was a person that felt for their needs and healed them first before he even had something to preach to them. You know, was there present with them. You know, what if we were a church that actually lived like Christ instead of an institution that did a lot of things that are biblical or religious? Because there's a big difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
Big difference between an organization, an institute that does religious things in the name of Christ,
Yeah.
and a church that is actually like Christ. In other words, we love, we connect, we take time, we want to hear feelings, we want to, we want to understand what you've been through. We want to know how has that painful experience that you've just come through, Leki, with your situation, with relationships and so forth, because each one of those scars is very meaningful to Christ.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to preach. I think I'm starting to preach a sermon.
No, you're not. You're just sharing, yeah.
But I'm hoping that we all see that it's about Christ, isn't it?
Yeah.
The safe spaces will happen if people are like Christ, when the church is like Christ. Unfortunately, we've come through and we've had a lot of negative experiences, myself included, coming through as a youngster and in a leadership role, and also, receiving hurt from a number of different settings and people as well. So I guess when we're looking at solutions and we're looking for other things that we can try and do to help it be a safe place, do you have any other thoughts on suggestions for safe places?
I think, because before I was like, be honest, about yourself, knowing that you're not perfect. Because I know, like, even with, what Pink was sharing, they ring the bell and then lessons over. You got people running around outside for like 15, 20 minutes, and then you go inside and then, you go through the formalities, and then, that's before the sermon starts. But by then, we've been sharing for like, half an hour before the Launga starts about things that we didn't have the time to talk about, with the scheduled time. And there were elders like looking at us because we went a couple of minutes over, right? And there were elders looking at us like, hey, lesson's done. There's people walking around outside and yada, yada, yada. But it's like, if you can see that there's something going on out there, just like leave them, let them be. You know what I mean? Accept that there's something different going on and then try and understand instead of you sticking to what
Shutting
you
it
think
down.
is right. Yeah. And then just busting out. It's not God's way for you to shut things down. It's God's way for, us to all accept each other and grow. If there's something that I can do for you to grow, then I'm going to do that for you.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh yeah, there is something I can do for you, but I can't because I've been told from the,
The
from
higher ups.
the next level up that I shouldn't be doing that because I shouldn't be acting this way. It's like, gee, you need help too. And if the help that you need is being stopped by your method, how does that make you feel? You know what I mean? It's sort of like, just leveling yourself and just understanding that there's only one person that can take care of that mess, that is willing to clean you up. And that Christ is the only person that can do that. Like, because it's a person thing, right? Like, you can't fix the system because the system's there. The system is just going to keep going round and round and round and round and round. But it's a personal thing. God is a personal God. He's not an institutional God. So yeah, just be vulnerable, man. Be who you are. If you're weak, be weak. If you're strong, be strong. And we all stink.
Be yourself. Be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Be prepared to share.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't sound or look nice.
Yeah.
And
Because there are people that are out there that can help you with your mess. Because like I open up to the boys and I talk to the boys about certain things that I'm going through. Like even with my brother, I open up to him because he's my safe space. And then, he knows not to hound me. Open up to Tuti, same thing. Open up to Sam, same thing. There's people that are out there that are able to help you in your mess, and they're in your circle. They're in your circle of friends. They're family, and they're usually the people that you don't want to turn to because they're the ones that can actually help you. You see how the devil works? The devil was like, nah, man, like don't go to that person, but like you it's a personal thing. So just be vulnerable enough to share your stuff, because there's always people in your circle or close by that can, help you and aid you in your growth in regards to spirituality, or your mental growth, your emotional growth, whatever it is. There's someone that's out there, but just be vulnerable, man. You don't have to always be strong. Like, just because, you're in a leadership position, you're not strong, G. There's things that you need to work on as well. So just be real with that. Like, that's where I think should be the base level, right? Does that make sense, Pastor?
Yeah.
That you see where I'm coming from, man? Because we the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I feel you're saying also is sometimes you got to be humble to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, hey, I don't have everything together, and I don't have to have everything together.
Yeah.
That's the good news about Jesus. He takes you exactly as you are, with your mess, smelling like crap, like the prodigal son that's just coming through. But he accepts him, embraces him, and then helps him through, because there's still a lot of hurdles to navigate through, isn't there?
Yeah.
100%.
There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of cultural things that get put out of balance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectations that people put on you, and expect you to tick all these different boxes in order for you to, to come to Christ and to be good. And I hope that this is speaking to myself as well. Growing up, there is this notion of I've got to put on a performance. Christianity is putting on a performance.
Yeah.
It's putting on a nice outfit on Sabbath, going to church, smiling, doing all the right things. And that's what Christianity is. And that's where a lot of people come undone, simply because Christianity is about pleasing people, ticking a box, doing the things for culture, because you don't want someone to frown on you when you do the wrong thing or wear the wrong thing. And one thing that I've experienced, speaking from my own journey, is that when you come to know who Christ is, and you know that he is with you through every step, whether you're at level 1, 2, 10, 100, the journey is an amazing journey, because it's not about a performance that happens once a week. It's about me journeying with Jesus 7 days, 24/7, and him helping me through the gutter at work and the challenges at school and the stuff that happens in our marriages, all the way through to church as well. Not just him showing up at church and going, hey, good to see you.
Yeah.
He's not just that guy that just welcomes you at church and says, hey, nice that you're here. He's with you through that whole journey.
And that's how it should be.
Amen.
That's how it should be. And we wish that's what we have when we don't have it. Like you said, being humble. Yeah. Being humble, being vulnerable, absolutely. You're not going to get the answers you need at church. And if, those who are in the roles, look, if you see what's going on and if you think it's making a change, learn to not follow the narrative. We're not an institution. Like you said, if the church was about Christ, numbers are going to drop, because you were going to catch everyone out. Absolutely. And like you said, just have that journey 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's how you got to be. And just come to church likewise. And look, just everyone be the same. Be who you are. Don't people please for 1 day of the week. I mean, that's not living.
Yeah.
You're just putting on a show for what? Like, for me now, and like with the brother Leki and yourself, it's about, being who we are, being genuine, and listening to people. I guess that's how we're navigating life right now. And that's absolutely coming from a vulnerable person. And I'll always be vulnerable, because my number one thing is never follow the narrative. That's always me growing up. I'll follow the rules, but I won't follow the narrative, because the narrative is, you can always tweak up the narrative. But pass through me, I go, no, my brother, pull your finger out, have a taste.
Jesus is still writing the narrative in you
All day.
That's another chapter, isn't it?
Yeah. So that one there, I'd go by. But anything else that's man-made, that you can produce and you can and you can, alter. I said, no, I'll catch you out. And it's like everyone else who's listening. Those who are vulnerable and who's navigating their lives right now, just, we may not have the answers, but hey, people are here to listen.
Yeah.
Just share your thoughts.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Share with us. Not just the nice things,
Bring the nasty.
the nasty, the stinky things.
Day.
They need to get aired.
Yep.
We can't put band-aids on a wound that needs stitches, and so we need to let those surface. We're all carrying scars.
Yeah. To those who are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable.
And even if you don't feel comfortable going to church, just know that there's people that are around that are willing to support and help and guide. Don't feel as though you need to go to church in order for you to have a sense of belonging. Just remember that Christ died for all of us, and that Christ wants a personal relationship with us. He doesn't want you to go to church just to roll with the punches and get with the program. God wants a personal relationship with you. And I know that for a fact, ever since I've been trying to practice getting closer to God, right? Things have changed in my life. So it's important for us to remember that there's that one ultimate person that wants us to grow. I'm still struggling with my mess, but slowly God is transforming my life. For those who are listening, I shouldn't even be here today, but I'm here. I shouldn't even be involved in this, in what's happening, but I'm here. I shouldn't even be involved in the 35 plus class, but I'm there. I shouldn't even be studying at the moment, but I'm studying. So God is a personal God. He just wants a relationship with him. Get closer to him, and then he'll show you where you need to go. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be rolling with the boys that I'm rolling with now. I'll be rolling with the boys that I was rolling with before. Me, myself, and I. Just
That's
finding
grace.
Yeah. So I challenge you. God is a personal God. Get to know him. When I was in New Zealand, here I am, about to go off again. When I was in New Zealand back in 1998, right, I ended up following I was in the west side of Morals. We were from Avondale, spooked out, and it was
Avondale.
So it was influenced by this bloke named James, and I followed this dude because he opened up his arms to me. I met the boys from the spook, and they accepted me as well. And why did I feel comfortable there? It's because they accepted me. And not only that, the reason why I was there is because of the relationship that I had with James, right? So the reason why I'm here is because I'm having a relationship with Christ. I'm still rolling around in my stink, but you can't follow anyone that you do not have a relationship with. So I'm just going to end on that.
Powerful.
Shot, Leki.
Yeah. Thanks. And just want to thank you both really for being vulnerable today. We spoke about being vulnerable, and without us or you being vulnerable with us in this conversation, it wouldn't be a conversation. So really appreciate you being honest. For the listener out there who doesn't feel as if church is a safe place, here's 3 encouragements for you. Firstly, God sees you even if others don't. Secondly, you can be completely honest and vulnerable with Jesus. And thirdly, change is possible. We can all help to make church a safer place by choosing grace over gossip and presence over judgment. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone that you know needs some encouragement. And join us next time as we discuss family versus faith expectations. I want to say a massive thank you to Gracelens Media for editing and for filming this podcast. Please like and subscribe to all of their socials and the links below. They're doing such an amazing work in the churches, sharing hope and stories that matter. But until next time, keep navigating with Jesus.